status announce me, honestly. Put the seat back and I had to see riders, your little mama wanted something to swallow me, whack tires.
Welcome to the Check-in Report. Today's topic, Taxstone calls Wack 100 a proxy snitch. Absolutely ridiculous. You know, this is the same man who wrote a letter to the judge talking about Troy Ave commits crime. Troy Ave did this and Troy Ave did that. Taxstone, you're the snitch. You're the rat. You're the one who implemented people in crimes. But this is what he said about Wack 100, and we're going to get into what Wack 100, what he's mad about Wack 100 about. But he says Wack is the biggest ray in the United States. Proxy snitching. Now, what he's talking about is a piece of content that Wack and Adam 22 did. Let's get into that real quick, because shout out to Wack 100 and Adam 22 for that piece of content that they put out. They brought a truth teller up there. Shout out to the truth teller. So pretty much they brought up this man who had close ties to Big U, and he talked about how Big U had a hand, had a play, had something to do with the untimely demise of one Nipsey Hustle, that Big U's hands are not clean, that he has something to do with that. And that's what, Taxstone is pretty much mad at Wack 100. He's mad that somebody went up to that platform and decided to do some truth telling. Now, he also goes on to say, how you trying to tell through somebody else because you that scared of a man? LMAO. If that ain't the definition of frightened, listen, Taxstone, I know you're out there. I know you're probably keeping your beverages cold in the toilet, busting trays, putting Snicker bars on people's pillows. But let me talk to you. You are a snitch, Taxstone. You ratted. Say what you want about Wack 100. You can say he's frightened of Big U. You can say this. You can say that. You can say he's proxy snitching. But at the end of the day, Taxstone, you wrote a letter to the judge.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
You wrote a letter to the judge as a supposed thug, and we don't really believe your thug stories. We're not falling for it. But you wrote a letter to the judge implementing Troy Ave into crime, saying that he's a criminal. You need to go look at him. You need to lock him up. If I'm in jail, you need to lock him up as well. That's what you did. And you could probably hide behind your lawyer. You could hide behind your defense. But at the end of the day, Taxstone, you okayed that. You pushed that through. You allowed that to happen. So, you snitched. You ratted on Troy Ave. Okay? So before you call anybody a snitch, you need to take a deep, hard look when you look into that, that nasty looking jail cell that you're in with the foggy, greasy windows or mirrors in there. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and realize that you ratted. You was a snitch. Before you go, calling anybody else a proxy snitch, take a deep look into yourself. And let's really get into Taxstone. Taxstone is a bully. He's a low down, dirty bully. And he never learned his lesson. I'm going to be honest with you guys. He never learned his lesson. He talked about how on Vlad TV, he talked about how he bullied someone. He kept bullying someone. He kept bullying someone up until the point where the person had to purchase a firearm to protect themselves from him. And ultimately, that person pulled out that firearm on him. And there was a tussle for that firearm. And then the firearm went off. And ultimately, during the firearm going off, Taxstone lost one of his eyes by bullying someone. Years later, he goes on to beef with one Troy Ave. Now he's ultimately lost his freedom. When will you learn, Taxstone? Stop bullying people. You are not as tough as you think. You are not as hard as you think. Just sit down. Relax yourself. All of that bullying got you where? Singing the county blues got you upstate, got you behind a jail cell. That's what all that bullying got you. Just sit down. You're the snitch. You're the rat behind bars, not nobody else. But those are my thoughts. I just want to come in here and come through with this. This is the check-in report, coming live and direct. We out of here. Toodles, y'all.
Reppin' the road, foreign status with my name on their toes. These studies acknowledge me, honestly. Put the seat back in the Odyssey. Prodigy, little mama wanna suck and to swallow me. Whack.